How do you effectively overcome being an introvert? Self-acceptance. Understand that being introverted is normal and okay. Embrace your strengths as an introvert, such as being a good listener, having deep insights, and being reflective. Set realistic goals, start small, and gradually push your boundaries. For example, aim to start a conversation with one new person at a social gathering rather than trying to engage with everyone. Practice social skills, work on your communication skills, active listening, and body language. Practice these skills in low-pressure situations, such as with friends or family members. When reading through these comments, it seems to me that a lot of people equate introversion with social anxiety or awkwardness, hence the advice is about exposure and practice. Being an introvert isn't really something you overcome. You just have to accept it. I'm introvert, and I'm great at talking to people. I work with new people every day. I regularly small talk with strangers. But still, I'm introvert. Being introvert isn't the same as not functioning in social situations. It's just not something I do for fun as often as a lot of other people. Take part in some enthusiasm or hobby that has a lot of casual interaction going on around it. Take fishing, for example. You'll meet all kinds and maybe bring home dinner. Or say you might even have sex in mind, then maybe something besides fishing. Most people prefer watching sports. I prefer sports that you do instead of watch. Do you know how to go camping? If you build a fire, you trigger ancient genes that put everybody on the same level. So building a fire is not bad. Just remember, fire is dangerous. My sister's psychology student told me being introverted is a way of being, and you never overcome it. You got to work with your body and what it needs. Denying your nature and going against it won't help you in the long run. It make you feel drained and miserable. Being shy, however, is a trait that mellows over time. It does get a little better the older you get and the more you have to get out of your comfort zone. But you will never be an outgoing social butterfly. People are built different. Introvert here. You can't. I overcame my shyness. But being an introvert is just how a person is hardwired. I can do public speaking now. I will always be an introvert, and I will always need downtime away from people to recharge. Yes, I can socialize with some people for a while, but a big crowd stresses me out, and I can only spend so much time in a crowd. Also, introversion and extroversion are not little boxes. It's more of a spectrum. Some people are right in the middle. You don't, it's not a disorder, so there is nothing to overcome. If the question is how you survive as an introvert in a loud world, the book Quiet really helped me with so much. I saw that introverts can be just as successful in life like Obama and Steve Jobs, and that we have superpowers, like being more observant because we're not talking all the time. I'm not sure I can provide you a whole guide, but I suppose the first step is to acknowledge that introversion equals social anxiety, shyness, and so on. When an introvert sees a negotiation as a business transaction rather than a social engagement, they can be very effective conversators and negotiators. Introvert people often have qualities that make them great networkers, such as listening, empathy, curiosity, and authenticity. Instead of focusing on your weaknesses or comparing yourself to others, recognize and leverage your strengths. My job involves interacting with people since I'm in the government. Being an introvert is such a hindrance from becoming productive almost every day. I am, if not always, afraid to ask questions and instructions. There's no one-size-fits-all answer. But finding small victories in social situations, setting boundaries, and honoring your need for alone time can help introverts thrive. It's about finding what works for you. Just start acting like an extrovert. No one gives a fuck about what you do. Slowly you will gain confidence by time. It's a very simple thing to do. But the hard part is starting. After that, it's a cakewalk. You can be an outgoing introvert. Introversion and shyness aren't the same thing. I still enjoy the company of others. I just need more time to recharge and be alone afterwards. Go to busy places and walk around, and if someone tries to talk to you, try just a bit to talk back. XOB. Practice makes perfect, and it will build your confidence. Personally, I like to make jokes. I think as long as there is humor in the world, I'm not alone. If you can make somebody smile, it's a victory. Even though I'm an introvert, I force myself into community environments that will help me achieve my interests and future dreams. Exposure therapy. Keep pretending to be extroverted, doing extroverted things until it feels slightly more bearable. I don't see being an introvert as a bad thing, to be honest. Just work on things like small talk and you'll be fine. Depends on how much value that thing has to me. If it's worth getting out of my comfort zone, I'll do it. Face new social situations. Get out of your comfort zone. Over time, socializing will be easier and easier. You can't. It's literally embedded in your DNA. The best you can do is to learn how to navigate it. I never did. My professionalism kicks in when I work. Then I revert to myself when I'm alone. You don't. Why should a cat overcome being a cat and work on becoming more like a dog? Turning yourself inside out. I don't think that's generally advisable though. You don't overcome it, because it is not a bad thing.